Hey guys, and welcome to the Yubel Destiny's deck profile. And as you guys know, when it comes to deck profiles, I'm really long-winded and I can talk for a long time. So I'm going to try to make this one shorter. So I hope you guys have been looking forward to it. You have seen 3 different videos of me using this deck, inspired by Cold Zephyro, the winner of the deck competition. So I'm just going to get right into the deck profile. Alright, 2 Yubels. Like I say in every single Yubel deck profile, the reason why I run 2 is because 2 is just right. If you run 1, it's not enough, and 3 is too many. When you run 2, you're assuming that 1 could be in the hand and 1 could be in the deck. So if you draw 1, that's okay, because I can still use Armageddon Knight and drop the other one from Element Reverse, just in case. So 2 is good. 1 Terra Incarnate. I feel like 1 Terra Incarnate is fine. If it really gets to be a problem, like they're banishing your Terra Incarnate or they're taking it and you're having problems with getting it back, I don't do side decks. I feel like side decks are personal, but if you guys really want to know, in my real life Yubel deck, I do side in my second Terra Incarnate, just in case. So I say 1 Terra Incarnate, side the other one, but this deck doesn't need a side, so yeah. 1 Terra Incarnate and 1 Ultimate Nightmare, You don't need more than 1. It's always been 1. 2 Doom Shamans, same reason why you run 2 Yubels, assuming that 1's in the hand and 1 is in the deck. Only need 1 Tinker, because Tinker just goes from graveyard to field, that's all Tinker does. Very effective, one of my favorite tuners. Lets me be ahead of the duel a little bit by seeing the top card of my deck and deciding if I want to put it on the top or bottom. So if I want it on the top, I already know that's there. So that's definitely good. I love my 3 Greffers and my 3 Armageddon Knights. I'm sorry, I know. Next Gen Resident Evil, I know you don't like the 3 Greffers, the 3 Armageddon Knights, but it's a personal thing. I love 3 Greffers, 3 Armageddon Knights, because you know what? If I draw them, I draw them. I'd rather draw them than not draw them, Like, I know you prefer, like 2 Greffers, 1 Armageddon Knight, but I can't flow with that because that's 3 cards. 3 compared to the 6, I mean, I get that you feel like I'm only putting so many monsters in the graveyard. I get that, but I'd rather have them than not have them. So that's just personal preference. You guys don't have to do it, but I run 3 Greffers and 3 Armageddon Knights. Sangan is to search for a lot of cards in this deck. It can search for that Malicious, it can search for that Diamond Dude, that Tinker, that Armageddon Knight, that Plague Spreader, so Sangan is definitely good. I decided not to run the 2 Ray engine because it's not really that important. If you guys want to remake this deck and run the 2 Ray engine, go ahead, more power to you. But, Sangan is just there just to get my search on. Stratos, one of the best searchers in the game right now. He can search, I think, 48 different cards, including the Diamond Dudes, the Malicious, so Stratos is the guy, and if you're gonna run any hero-related deck, you gotta toss in your Stratos. 3 Diamond Dude. Diamond Dude is mostly for the D-draws. I try to use him for the spell effect, and the crazy thing is that all my spells are normal spells, but I never get it. Like, I believe in the duel. I hit a Limit Reverse, and then I was dueling Cold Zephyro, and then he hit a Limit Reverse with his Diamond Dude, so they were both kind of a dud. But you know what? He's a useful card. He's one of the most useful Destiny heroes that you can have, and he's D-draw fodder, so that's why he's in there. The 2 Malicious. This is another Synchro engine. This is one of the main reasons why Cold Zephyr Zero, Cold Zephyr Zero, and I keep on calling you Cold Zephyro. Just rolls off the tongue, Cold Zephyro, Cold Zephyr Zero doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But I'm getting off topic here. This is the reason why he won, is because he had another Synchro engine with the being able to send 1 Malicious to the graveyard, whether it be Dark Grave or Armageddon Knight, D-draw, whatever, then removing that from play, summoning the other one from your deck, and then maybe summoning like a Plague Spreader or Tinker, and then sinking for 8. I mean, it's another 6, so there you go. And of course, the main guy, Plague Spreader, he is so good. You pretty much get to use him twice, and sometimes you get to use him 3-4 times. Depends on how you make the deck. If you run like the 2 Guide engine, this guy gets removed from play after he uses his effect to summon him back from the graveyard, so you can go ahead and like grab him again with like a Levier. Go ahead and grab him back with a Levier, sync again, and then he'll go back to the graveyard and then do it all over again. So Plague Spreader is definitely a good card. Him tagged up with Malicious, even sometimes with Doom Shaman, is just so good. With a simple call, the Haunted, bring back a Malicious or a Doom Shaman, to just put the card back to top of my deck, summon Plague Spreader again, and go for another Synchro. Done it plenty of times with this deck, and it's one of my favorite moves to do. So definitely gotta have that Plague Spreader. We got our 5 staples. I believe Cold Zephyr Zero. I actually missed one of the staples. There's 5 staples in Evo. There's the trio, the Dark Hole, the Heavy Storming Monster one, and there is Rhoda, because you have a lot of warriors. Now, most of the time people forget that Armageddon Knight and Dark Greph are warriors, so Rhoda, you want them. You know, just increase your odds of getting those to your hand, because they definitely kick off the duel. And Cold Zephyr Zero, I actually forgot about Foolish, which is like Armageddon Knight, except I don't have to waste my normal summon for it, so got to get that Foolish. So good. Pot of Duality, it's still a Yubel deck, so Yubel needs the help. Still kind of sad that Pot of Duality went down to 2. If it goes back up to 3 in March 2013 banlist, I'll be happy, because I'll run my 3rd again. But, you know, it sits fine at 2, so since it's Yubel deck, and Yubel decks are kind of slow, they start off kind of slow, gotta run that Pot of Duality. Another reason why Cold Zephyr Zero won is because he gave the Yubel deck what they do not have. Yubel decks do not have a draw engine, besides Alert, but personally I don't like moving to play my dark monsters, so I personally do not run Alert. But it gave the Yubel deck a draw engine, so, you know, discard those Destiny Hails and draw. So, a draw engine, and another way of synchroing, and some searching. It's just, this deck is definitely one of my favorite Yubel decks that I now have in my arsenal of various Yubel decks. We gotta have our 3 swings. You know how much I love the swing. The swing for the Doom Shaman, for the Tinker, the sync, or summon Yubel. Sometimes, I don't do that as often anymore. I like going for synchro plays more, but you know, we still got it. So 3 swings, 3 calls, lots of revival, lots and lots of revival. The call can hit other things, but it's slower than swing. So yeah, definitely gotta have that call. You know, sometimes in emergency situations, I will call an Armageddon Knight that got killed just to drop another dark. You know, so. But call is still there. You know, call sits on the field after synchro, so scrap fodder and stuff like that. So gotta have a calls, and of course the best trap up in here, Limit Reverse. I always run 3 Limit Reverse. Limit Reverse is a beautiful card. It summons Yubel, it blocks their attack, I turn it to defense position, Yubel is destroyed, and I get a Terror Incarnate with ease. So I love my Limit Reverses, and Limit Reverse I will always run you at 3. Don't really have a side deck. I kind of just put this card here just for the deck profile to remind you guys that if you guys are going to make this deck, Allure of Darkness is a card. I personally don't like it, but in this deck it might work. I just can't really see where I'd squeeze it in. I really want those 3 Diamond Dews, because sometimes that Destiny draw can be like a dead draw, so I want to have as many possibilities as possible. But if you guys want to run Allure, that's perfectly fine. You know, I would Allure freaking Diamond Dude. You know, he's kind of just there just to be there, just pretty much just trading Destiny draw fodder. So if you guys want to like take down like a Diamond Dude down to 2 and then run Allure, go ahead, more power to you. So just wanted to have that card there just to remind you guys that, you know, Allure can be put in this deck. 3 Black Dragos all the time, every day. Black Dragos is the best, you know. I rarely use this first effect where I can discard, I can send a Gemini monster from my hand to the graveyard to destroy a spell or trap my opponent controls. I rarely do that. I mean, once in a blue moon. I mean, I only run 2 Gemini, so I'd have to have 1 Doom Shaman in the graveyard while the other one's in my hand, summon Black Drago, and then use this effect, which sometimes that doesn't happen. But you know what, it's there. But the reason why you love Black Drago is that when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get a Gemini monster, and it has its effect. So it really doesn't even specify where this card is even destroyed. So if you summon Black Drago and as long as the card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So if you summon Blackwood Dragon, your opponent activates a warning. Warning would negate a summon and destroy it, so Blackwood Dragon would be destroyed and sent to the graveyard, so its effect would activate and summon Doom Shaman, in which you can summon Tinker and Sink for 8 for another Blackwood Dragon, so they just paid 2,000 life points for practically nothing. Blackwood Dragon is the best. He's a 3,000 beater, and he summons Doom Shaman again with its effect, so kind of gets your own little loop on, so I love 3 Blackwood Dragos. 2 Scrap Dragons, scrap, sometimes I like to pop a Blackwood Drago, pop a card, summon Doom Shaman, summon a Tinker, Sink 4, and then go into like a Scrap Radiance combo, or most of the time it's to pop Terra Incarnate, switch from my defense, just stalling with Terra Incarnate, and switch it over to offense with Ultimate Nightmare, so you gotta run that Scrap. Scrap is awesome. Radiance for the Scrap Radiance combo, plus you can chain Radiance to Terra Incarnate's effect, so all the monsters will be killed except for Radiance and Terra Incarnate, so that's definitely good. 2 Stardust, you really only have to win. Oh my god, Stardust's price is going up. I'm glad I had my hands on my Stardust already. I'm getting off topic here. Stardust, you can run 1. If I would change anything, I'd probably run 1. Stardust is just there to be Stardust, and another way to turn Terra Incarnate into Ultimate Nightmare is during the end phase. You get to choose which effect goes, so you can either choose Terra Incarnate to kill Stardust, or you can choose Stardust to negate Terra Incarnate and then summon your Ultimate Nightmare. So, Colossal Fighter, he's pretty good. There's a lot of warriors in this deck, so his attack can actually get higher than even Blackwood Drago. And when he's destroyed by battle, I get to target a warrior, including himself, and summon it. So when it comes to like being destroyed by battle, he kind of loops himself, so he's pretty good. As you guys can see, I do not have Void Ogre Dragon. If you guys want to run Void Ogre Dragon in your deck, go ahead. More power to you. This deck can summon Void Ogre Dragon. I'll tell you that right now, it can. And it can use this effect properly with no cards in hand. The reason why I don't have it in here is because I do not like using Void Ogre Dragon for my videos, because he's just so powerful that the video will be so short. Like, I can summon him with ease and just negate everything and be a jerk like Shin and just win the duel like that. We got one guy a night, sometimes your hand just calls for you just have a level 4 and one of the tuners and just, Sink for 6. In my opinion, he's one of my favorite 6s now. All the 6 good ones kind of went to crap, Goyo is banned, Bionic is banned, so Gaia, he's pretty much one of the best 6s now, just because he's over the attack barrier at 2600, so definitely gotta run him. 2 Heroic Champions Excaliburs, you really don't need to run 2, you can run 1, but, whatever. He's really good. When, it's a Yubel deck, so your opponent would of course try to counter you with like summoning Stardust, so you can just get 2 level 4 warriors and just summon Excalibur and just run the stupid Stardust over. Double your attack by detaching 2, so go up to 4,000. Definitely a good play. Black Ship of Porn, you gotta have your Black Ship of Porn. I know it's called Porn, I just like making fun of it and calling Black Ship of Porn. Definitely a good card. This is kind of like one of my counter cards to when my opponent takes like my Terra Incarnate or something, or when they summon like a Zen Mains, you summon this, you detach, you target their monster my opponent controls with attack, and then it sends it to the graveyard, so it sends it, not destroys it, sends it to the graveyard, and then inflict that 1,000 points of damage. It says if you do, so actually this card is kind of the sending effect and the inflict damage work simultaneously, so it's not like Soul Taker, so if you do it on Terra Incarnate, you do not miss timing, so you would get your Ultimate Nightmare, had it done to me on Dev Pro, so I got my Ultimate Nightmare, so, Terra Incarnate, all the Yubels, they're summoned from the owner, not the owner, yeah, the owner, not the controller, the owner, so if they, let's say Big I, my Terra Incarnate, since I'm the owner of the card and it goes to my graveyard, if I summon Black Ship of Corn, detach, send the Terra Incarnate to the graveyard, they take 1,000, I get to summon the Ultimate Nightmare, so I would summon the Ultimate Nightmare and kill their, Big Eye, so that's all that. And, when my stroke, you guys were probably wondering what Thanatos is, but you know what? My stroke is actually better than Thanatos. It took me a while. I kind of sat there and thought about it. I'm like, well, Thanatos can't be destroyed by counter effects, but my stroke can't be destroyed at all. He just kind of attaches. They both attach.
if I'm sitting there with the Terran Chrono and summon a Maelstrom, that's cool. Plus, Maelstrom actually has an active effect of I can set a monster. So you know what? I'm having a problem. I'm sitting on a Terran Incarnate and you have a Stardust. You know what? Summon Maelstrom, set that shit, and then end and wipe it while it's face down, so the effect can't go off. Maelstrom is definitely a good card. It's $5, and you know what? If you guys don't got one, I recommend you pick it up. So I hope this deck profile was quicker than my previous ones. And like I promised, I'm going to continue with these contest-entered Yubel decks. So next is Mabelfic? Yeah, Mabelfic, which you guys could probably guess that's Yubel and Malefics. So look forward to that deck. Like I did with this one, I'm going to do 3 dueling videos and then a deck profile, and that's pretty much how it's going to go for a lot of Yubel decks, because I do have a lot of Yubel decks. So I hope you guys enjoy. So do usual, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget, if you haven't entered the giveaway, make sure that you enter. Link is in the description. Go ahead and click there. You know, like it, subscribe, and win you some free Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Forgot to say that. So thank you for taking the time to watch, and I will see you guys at the next deck profile.